come up in the podcast, but maybe just like to lay the ground for us, why don't you tell us what is a spontaneous spiritual awakening? Like, what do you mean by spontaneous spiritual awakening?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So a spontaneous spiritual awakening is a subjective experience of direct contact, communion, or union, or i.e. the experience of oneness with a cosmic consciousness, universal consciousness, God. Some people might interpret it as God, or the divine. So it's this non-intentional, kind of random experience and sudden experience of this oneness or connection with something, I want to say other than ourselves, but it's actually very much an experience of a connection with our deep inner core nature as well. So yeah, but these experiences are really ineffable as well. So it's really hard to pinpoint or create a certain definition around this kind of experience. But that is the common thread that runs through all of these kinds of experiences, is that oneness or that connection and that love, that undying, unlimited, incredible sense of love for more.
So like, that's a great, that's such a beautiful description. What kind of qualities or attributes? Because I imagine it's not just like, like it's ineffable, it's this giant experience. It's probably not like something that you can fully describe in every nuanced detail that's the same for everybody with a single sentence. There must be some overlapping and sort of mix of qualities and attributes that people will experience. So what are some of the qualities and attributes that you've found to be present in spontaneous spiritual awakenings?
Yeah. So just in repetition of what I've just said, so connection with everything and everyone, a sense that there's more, a sense of limitless love, feelings of gratitude often show up as one of the most prominent features of the experience, feelings of empathy and of acceptance and of peace and of presence and of bliss. And we'll go on to the sort of more difficult spiritual awakening experiences later on, because I think it's important for us to touch on those too. But typically speaking, the experience of non-duality or awakening or enlightenment, as some people might refer to the experiences, but for that kind of experience, these are the common features that, or like a golden thread that ties all these experiences together. But the experience can also be more sort of like cognitively shifting. So it can make people feel like they're receiving downloads, or they have like this endless stream of thoughts coming into their minds, or some people feel that their intellectual abilities drastically increase post this kind of experience. I know for sure that that's how I felt. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but I definitely felt that I gained this new sense of understanding and of ability to understand the world around me in a way that I hadn't experienced before. And then for some people, the experience is more physical as well. So some people report feeling senses of like electricity, or kind of like fireworks in the extremities. So in the hands and the feet, typically, or in the third eye, in the point between the eyebrows. Sensations of heat or of light emanating or shooting through the body. So typically reported, particularly in what is referred to as a Kundalini awakening, is a sense of heat, or this kind of embodiment of flames just rising up through from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head, and feelings of auric luminosity. So it's not so much a visual experience of seeing lights coming out of the body, but it's a sense. It's like gaining an extra sense. So it's very difficult to put into words again, but it's a sense of light emanating from certain centers in the body. So again, for me, I had this sense that there was light emanating from my heart space and from my third eye point and the crown of my head. And, these are things that I wasn't exposed to. I wasn't exposed to esoteric or spiritual text or literature before my experience. In fact, I was very much against anything pertaining to the spiritual. I would laugh at it. So it was very interesting to also to have that experience. And then for some people, the experience is slightly more paranormal, and people often actually report an increase in synchronicities or coincidences post the experience. And also people often report senses of telepathy or kind of being able to tap into other people's thoughts. But I believe, I mean, this is my own, again, subjective interpretation of it, is that we gain a sensitivity, generally speaking. So sensitivity to lights, to colors, to shines, to touch, to smell. So the senses are so heightened that I think we just become more aware and more able to tap in and be empathetic towards other people. So yeah, again, my own personal interpretation of all of this is that it's not anything beyond our typical ability as human beings, but it's almost like a door opens and we're able to experience the full spectrum of human experience, which is so vast. And we're often so closed off to it in our normal waking existence, because we are, we live more in the sort of survival mode, generally speaking. So, yeah, I know you didn't ask me for my interpretation, but I felt the need to sort of express that as well, because it's something that's been on my mind a lot.
Yeah. Your interpretation as in the sort of like expansiveness of the senses and the sort of like opening a perceptual connection with what's already there, but normally is shut down due to, I mean, we could get into this later, but due to the sort of like socio-cultural context that all of us are born and raised within, being very much a self-protected kind of like, yeah, like what was the term you used? I think, did you use protection as a word, like closed?
Like a sort of, it's like a valve is closed and then something opens, or a door opens. I don't know if that's what you were referring to, but it very much, I feel, feels that way.
Oh yeah, I think you had said something like, but normally we're closed off to it. But anyways, conversations about how it is that our sociocultural contexts tend to limit our ability to access these things and negatively impact our ability to make sense of them afterwards, we can maybe save for later. I have a couple more questions about the sort of like the phenomenology of the experience.